also national supremacy. Right? Whose powers will remain supreme? The federal government or the states? So states' rights, things like that. So if you go back and look at the PowerPoint on the judiciary and look for development, you'll see these three different areas. Look at the areas of focus. You should know what pork barrel politics is. You should know the McCulloch case, which is on this sheet that you can't see right now because the computer is wacky. Okay, but the McCulloch case. You should know what we mean by the litmus test. Not the one you do over in science for acidity, but the litmus test to determine the nomination of judges, specifically Supreme Court justices. You should know what impeachment is. You should know who does impeachment and who tries. Okay? One entity impeaches, the other tries the case. You should know that 2 presidents have been impeached, but none have ever been convicted. Okay? And you should know also, or find out, who's been impeached the most in our history? What type of government worker? You should know the name of the most important Chief Justice this country has ever had. He's the one who gave us the power to rule things unconstitutional. Okay, he's not the first, but he's close. You should be able, as I said, to make inferences. For example, if the Supreme Court holds that something is unconstitutional, but still it goes on somewhere in the country, still, why is that so? What's wrong with this system? Okay? What are we losing out on? If something's unconstitutional, isn't that like a magic wand? And it certainly isn't. But why is that able to go on? What's not also happening? You should know the Brady Bill. And in so doing, if you know what the Brady Bill is, you would know then who'd be for it and who'd be against it. Okay. Remember I mentioned you had to know those eras of focus? Another question. The beginning of the chapter on the judiciary, they make a couple of notes about how the British court system is a little bit different. You may want to review that. You may want to review the text as to how the Supreme Court interpreted the 14th and 15th Amendments before FDR. Speaking of FDR, you should know what he tried to do to the Supreme Court during his tenure as president, and what does that mean? You should know about jurisdiction in the court system, original and appellate. What does it mean to have original jurisdiction, and what does it mean to have appellate jurisdiction? And where do the majority of cases begin in our federal court system? you know what senatorial courtesy is? I mentioned it in the judiciary PowerPoint. Senatorial courtesy. I've already said you should know the Brown versus Board case, but how did that case start? What is it? It's not that somebody broke a law, okay? It's a type of lawsuit. What kind? During the Clinton administration, for a short time, about 6 months, there was a line item veto. What does a line item veto allow a president to do? It's no longer constitutional to do it. So. And way back when, I'm 1 for 2 today, I said there was a rule of something. What was that rule? I mean, no, it's a long polysyllabic word beginning with P. The rule of, that's it, right there. Propinquity. Propinquity.